Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to get singles for all your Force of Will and other trading card games, as well as these amazing patrons.
Thank you for your support. Enjoy the video.
Hey there, Rulers. Zemo73 here, bringing you the deck profile for the Schrodinger Cat combo deck. The deck profile you see on screen is the one that I played, the Casual Cats. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the differences were between the two lists. There wasn't a ton of differences, but mainly in terms of what made it like casual versus greedy, and I'll kind of go into that. This list was initially designed by Minh and Logan, so huge credit to them. They were playing a bunch of different takes on it, a bunch of different varieties, and I tried to tweak it a little bit to make it better suited to playing at locals. It is an absolute blast deck to play at the local level because there's just natural variance in it, and you just kind of like are rolling the dice whenever you're playing it, but it is absolutely a blast to play. So obviously we're playing Loki as the ruler, and this is because we wanted to have access to the perfect Loki being able to recast the giants in the late game, and because we wanted to have access to being able to play reconnaissance to allow us to have an early game, like being able to control the flip off of a Schrodinger if we can't see any of the other stuff, to be able to look at the top of the deck. We're not playing Neo Ragnarok, we're not playing any of the other Master Runes, we're not playing anything else. So that's what we're using Loki for. To go into the stones, we're playing 4 light vapors, 3 magic stones of scorch bales because we're playing Surtur in the main, so we need the black or the red as opposed to just plain black, and then 3 water magic stones. Rune deck wise, we're playing Harvesting Season, of course. This is our primary way to get Schrodingers to the grave. Power of Immortality is absolutely clutch, especially when you're using things like Perfect Loki or have a second, or have a giant. Like they go to kill the giant, you Power of Immortality it, brings the giant right back, and you get the devastating effect, and you kept the giant, like you saw in that match. Invitation, just to be able to search for a one of, like something we need in the moment, or like find a Schrodinger, or find a perfect Loki if we need to be able to flip, or something like that. And then Athenia is love primarily for the Eternal, to keep ourselves safe. Especially keeping our Schrodinger safe is really important. Going into the main deck, some of the more tech cards. This is just a single copy of Sacrificial Altar. This is absolutely used primarily as ways to additionally get Schrodingers from your hand to the graveyard. You can play them, sacrifice the Schrodingers to get tokens on this, which can generate into more giants later on, or another Schrodinger if you need it, or whatever. But sometimes you just get a handful of Schrodingers and they're absolutely worthless in the hand, and you want to be able to put them in grave. So Sacrificial Altar helps to do that while also generating you advantage to get other cards. 2 copies of Clockwork Girl, so that we have a little bit of ways to produce green for the single copy of Trow, but also is nice to be able to grab our Matokos sometimes, or Makotos. And then we have 4 Shadow of Kronos, helps our blue turn into black, which is super important, but also gets that ability to look at the top card of our deck, potentially send it to the graveyard to help fuel that combo, but also maybe know that we're going to set up for a really good Schrodinger pull. 22 copies of Parallel World Schrodinger, absolutely the linchpin of the deck. It's the whole reason this deck functions. It's a ton of fun. You do need a lot of copies of him. And then keep in mind that you do have to have a copy of Schrodinger on the field in order to be able to activate the effect. So just keep that in mind. 2 copies of 3-drop Athenia and 1 copy of 1-drop Athenia. This is really helpful for recycling stuff as we get later into the game, as well as removing your opponent's graveyards. And then Athenia makes some really silly plays if you get it off early off of a Schrodinger, as well as with Power of Immortality. And then we get into the big heavy hitter stuff. I'm not really going to get too much into it. Our top end, we're playing 4 Makotos, 4 Matokos, 4 Burglemirs. Burgelmir is probably the best giant for here because of our ability to like fix the grave, fix the top deck while using his effect. It's a really good value. 2 Utgards, 3 Surturs, a single copy of Drow. And then lastly, we're finishing off with 4 perfect Loki. Now, to kind of talk about how the deck was a little bit different for Paul's version, I'll grab, he was playing Angraboda, the giant, I can't remember how it's spelled, Angraboda, the giant of the sun. He was playing that because he was playing blue-white, the same as we were, but he was just playing those in the main. Some other cards that he was playing is he was playing Mystery Box and Neo Ragnarok in the rune deck as opposed to what we were doing, which is just to kind of be like even more like ways to just kind of funnel and pummel out some high value in the late game. So those are the decks. Those are the main kind of tweaks between the two decks. Like I don't think he was playing Clockwork Girls. I also know that I think in his deck he was not playing Matokos. He was replacing those with Agrobotas. So that is it. Again, huge thanks to Logan, Logan and Minh for showing me the list, letting me tweak it, as well as Paul for playing his take on the list. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you like that kind of stuff, let us know in the comment section down below, and we'll try to make it happen more often. If you have any takes on what you would kind of think of a cool Schrodinger style deck would be, let us know. We'd love to hear that too. And until next time, this is DMO73 saying class dismissed.